My anxiety in this situation feels different in that situation. Why is that? Hey, my name is Sebastian from socialanxietysolutions.com. I'm a former social anxiety disorder sufferer, social confidence coach with 12 years of experience coaching people with social anxiety to feel calm, relaxed, and at ease in social situations. And today I'm answering a particular question that was made by our good friend Graham. And he writes, "Hi Leah," who's our manager at Social Anxiety Solutions. "I have a question for Seb. I've noticed that different triggers cause a different physiological change in me. Some situations will trigger a strong freeze response where I feel myself rooted to the spot and my core feels tight and frozen. Other triggers will result in more of a flight energy where I just want to escape the situation and I feel very activated. My question is, what are some differences when working with these flight freeze energies? Do they typically release in a similar way? Thanks, Seb." Graham. Hi, Graham. Excellent question. In general, I work with them the same. But let's talk a little bit about the differences in what they are. The fight, flight, freeze response is what happens when your brain perceives danger, like there's a real threat to your survival. And in that moment, your brain, if it cannot fight the danger, because you're not strong enough or it's not fightable, or if it can't outrun the danger or it's not, you can't run from it, then it only has one other option, though some experts say that there's two other options. There's also the fawn response, FAWN. You might want to look into that if you find this interesting, but I won't go into it. So there's the freeze response. So if you can't fight, you freeze and you play dead. That response is stuck in the body, and in animals, they automatically discharge that freeze response. So gazelle is out in the woods, tiger comes along. Well, guess what? Can't really fight the tiger because it's gonna lose. So what does it do? It bolts, it runs, it takes off and it tries to escape. Now at the moment, just before the tiger is about to bite the gazelle, gives up and freezes. Its system automatically freezes, which numbs the feelings, and the gazelle gets bitten and the tiger drags the gazelle behind the bushes. Now, in case miraculously this gazelle survives it, because the lion or the tiger gets distracted and the gazelle runs off and escapes, and they've videotaped this, the gazelle then later on comes back to his tribe of other gazelles and then starts involuntarily shaking. It discharges the freeze response. Okay, if you find that interesting, Google it. Lots of information from trauma experts on this topic. And we as humans don't discharge the freeze response for whatever reason, and there are reasons for it that I won't go into. And so a way to discharge the freeze response is to work with tapping. You can work with the feelings in the body. You can go back to where the original experience was and release the feelings of that younger you. There's also something called TRE, developed by psychologist David Berceli, which stands for Trauma Release Exercises, which are various exercises that instigate the discharge of the freeze response that's gotten stuck in the body. And it involves a bunch of exercises where you tire out the leg muscles and your groins. You're activating your psoas muscle, where a lot of this freeze response is being held. And eventually, and I've done it many times, you'll end up lying on the floor in kind of like a butterfly position with your knees. Imagine that these are your knees. And you start involuntarily shaking. And in a while, it goes through your whole body. And you're not doing it, like it's happening automatically. And after you're done with that shaking, you do it for a certain amount of time. I can't give you instructions, this is not my technique. Look up David Berceli, TRE. You've discharged some of that freeze response and you feel more calm, you feel more centered in your body. So that's in particular for discharging the fight, flight, freeze response. So that's another technique I can, top of the mind, think of. But yeah, in other ways, yeah, lots of clients have lots of freeze responses that are stuck in the body, and we simply work with them in the same way that we do. Another thing that comes to mind as we're talking about this topic is there's different kinds of experiences that I've had from anxiety. just like you say. Like there's the freeze, I'm frozen, or like a high intensity, real fearful anxiety response. And there's the, I feel locked up, I can't really express myself, and I feel tense and rigid and so on. The first is more of a fear response, and you want to look at the fears that you have. The second is usually more of a response that has to do with your rules about how you should be and you shouldn't be and you have to be and you can't be, and you're very rigid in your ways of being, and you might violate these rules that you have about how you should socialize, what you can do, how you can feel, how you cannot feel, and so on. You want to loosen that up. So there's varieties in the experience that you can have with anxiety, and we address them pretty much the same way. What's going on for you? What's the elephant in the room? And just follow the trail that your subconscious brings to mind. You know, aim it at the thought, aim it at the feeling in the body, aim it at the emotion that you're experiencing, aim it at the memory, aim it at the image, aim it at the future projection, and just keep tapping, bit by bit, chipping away at all the layers of social anxiety. You're going to get to where you want to be. So thank you. Great questions. Sebastian from socialanxietysolutions.com. If you want to learn more about how to use tapping to overcome your social anxiety, go to socialanxietysolutions.com. Click on Overcome Social Anxiety and you get a free social confidence starter kit, a little mini course to start reducing your social anxiety right away. All right. This is Sebastian from socialanxietysolutions.com signing off. Bye for now. Bye.